All right, good morning, world. It's April 9, just a little bit before 8 o'clock. The sun still isn't up here because I wasn't thinking about that, so I'm on right beside a hill, and the sun would be coming up over there somewhere. It's a little bit cloudy this morning. The one forecast said it was going to be cloudy, so I guess we'll see. Yeah. It's really light clouds right now, so it's not a big deal. I think it's a little bit warmer than it was last night, but it was still cold. Putting on dry socks does make a huge difference, so yay for that. The hardest thing in the morning is crawling out of bed. I mean, that's normal anyway, but normally you'd crawl out of your sleeping bag and then put your jacket on, but I'm sleeping with my jacket on, so I get out of the sleeping bag and I got nothing else to put on. So that's kind of rough, but anyway, yeah, it was a pretty good night. No wind, that helps a lot. That's like the biggest thing. It was just nice having some trees to look at again. The first thing I thought of this morning when I was laying there not wanting to get up is how much quieter the ranch is. You know, because there's virtually no traffic, and I live quite a ways off the road. I mean, off of the county road, not, you know, the highway or anything. So it's really quiet where I'm at. So I'm getting used to constant traffic driving by 50 feet away or something like that. So, yeah. The other thing I'm still trying to work on is I end up crawling in the sleeping bag at 8 o'clock at night because it's cold, and I don't want to get up much before 7 o'clock, but I only really need 6-7 hours of sleep is all I'm used to. And I've noticed this in the winter a lot, even on the ranch, because I don't heat the house usually. It's like, well, you know, if you're running out of power, if you're running on solar, and it's getting dark and it's getting cold, you know, you don't want to sit there and run your computer until midnight like you used to do when you're living on grid, because, you know, then you don't have any power in the morning for making coffee or something like that. So, yeah, just little weird things you think about. Anyway, I think I'm about 80 miles from Page. It looked like it's more or less downhill. I mean, when I see that on the graph, it's like, well, you started here, you know, you start up high and then you end up down here, but then it also shows the little blue line that does this. So there's a bunch of little rolling hills, and that doesn't work as good as you'd think, because what ends up happening is I have to drag the brakes going down the hill, and then I burn a bunch of battery going up the other side. It's just a little short dip. And then you coast for a little while, or at least it's a gradual downhill, so you can make decent time and not use too much power. And then you get to the next dip and you drag the brakes and you burn through your battery. And so in the 80 miles, yeah, it's more or less, I'm gonna drop, I think, 1,000 feet again. So yesterday I climbed about 1,000 feet, so I should drop it again. I think I'm over 6,500 feet here again. So that and being cold doesn't help. But come on, sun. I can see the sun hitting the other side. So the other thing, though, is if I ride about 4 miles, I'll be out of this valley, I think, and then it'll be up in the sun. So I can sit here and try to warm up or wait for the sun, or I can pack up and go. So I think that's what's going to happen. I'll just pick everything up and get rolling here pretty soon. It's light enough to see easily, and with the lights, I'll be totally visible, so it's not like I'm riding in the dark. Yeah, anyway. Put my gloves on pretty soon, I guess, just to keep my hands warm. The rest of me is pretty warm. Yeah. I don't think I mentioned this on the last video. Oh, as of now, I did have enough to do a couple quick posts on Facebook, but I don't have enough signal I'm in normally I use LTE on the phone. This phone is dual band, so it can also use 3G. It's an older one. It doesn't do 4 or 5G. Then you get into H, and then there's E. I think H was the first high speed, and E was enhanced. So it was like one of the early data ones. And out here, that's all that I'm getting is E. So it was good enough to do Facebook posts, but it wouldn't post a video. It took too long. It would probably just quit after a while. So I started trying, and I'm like, no, it's not going to work. So I'll keep an eye on the phone, and when I see a signal, I'll start uploading. And yeah, I can ride while I'm uploading. That's not a problem. So anywho, yeah, I didn't have any broken spokes yesterday, so that was a good day. I think part of it, well, there's two possibilities. When I switched tires before 4 corners, I rotated the tires between the trailer and the bike. The ones that I put on the bike are a little bit taller, so that would give it a little bit softer ride. So that might be enough to keep from breaking the spokes, because I think they're breaking when I hit a sharp bump. And so if I had just a little bit higher, more high profile on the tire, maybe that's just enough. And also, since yesterday I was going mostly uphill, I didn't have nearly as much speed, so I wouldn't have hit the bumps as hard. So maybe it all adds up a little bit. Yeah. So I'll just kind of keep an eye on it. I keep checking them every time I stop just to make sure I don't have a broken spoke. And it would be nice to not break one every day, or multiples. Okay, get up and get moving and warm up a little bit here. Okay, 8:45. That tree has a shadow, so the sun is up there. It's just coming over the top. So I was like, I should stay in bed until the sun comes up. Then I realized where the sun was going to come up. I'm like, I can't stay in bed till 9 o'clock in the morning. Oops, hit the wrong button again. So, yeah, I'll have sunshine now. It's just about there. So I'm basically loaded up. I don't notice it when I'm doing it, but anytime I have a camp, I have completely trampled about 20 feet of space between, where the bed is and then the bike and then the front of the bike. And yeah, looks like 100 people were here. It's like, okay, you sit down on the bed for something. And it's like, oh, get up, grab a snack. Okay, sit down. I never brought a chair, and so I'm using the bed as a chair, which is okay. It's 2 purposes, but it would be nice if that would be one of the things I really wanted to do, is have just something I could easily pull off and sit on. The first plan was when I had the black box where the backpacks are now, that was going to be a good camp box, and I could have sat on that. But then I realized I was putting everything on top of the box that didn't fit in the box, and so you'd have to unload everything to get to the box. So that ended up not being any advantage. So yeah. Anywho, I guess by waiting till 9 now, the sun is higher, so it's a lot more effective than it is at 7:30 or 8. So hopefully that means I can just ride faster now. I'm keeping my jacket on for now. I just haven't warmed up yet, so oops, get out of the panel's shadow. So anyway, yep, about 8:45, hit the road. Looks like we might get some wind, but the forecast is the wind coming from the south, and I'm going north, so it'll be more or less a tailwind. So maybe that'll make up for the clouds a little bit, hopefully. Sure is pretty country though. Yeah, this is all right. The problem with my place is if I planted trees 5 years ago, they still wouldn't be big enough by the time I was dead to be big enough for shade even. They don't grow fast enough there. Oh well. I'll just go out and visit trees, I guess. Okay, about 9:30 in the morning. Not much to report. It's funny because I stopped last night because I was completely exhausted and I could see a hill up ahead. This morning with, fully charged batteries and well rested, I just breezed up that hill, didn't think anything of it. So maybe I could have pushed a little bit further, but honestly where I was a good spot to stop, so I don't feel too bad about it. Just kind of funny when I hit it. I'm getting a south wind, which right now is crossing me, so it's going crosswise this way. In about 10 miles I'll turn north, so that'll be more or less a tailwind, so that should be pretty good. It is a lot cloudier than it was this morning when I first woke up though. So I'm gonna have to try to be really conservative on the battery so I don't pull it down, because it'll be harder to let it charge up now. So let's probably just slow down and do more pedaling. Okay, it's about 10:30. I am at the junction of 98 and 160. I'm taking 98 north. That goes up to Page, Arizona. I just wanted to get a shot of this. I don't know if I've ever seen this before. I mean, this part is normal, but they've got a full roof and a wall, probably to block the wind for the gas pumps. So all the pumps are in there. I'm like coming down the road, I don't need gas. I could see the gas sign and I was like, where are the pumps? That's pretty cool. I mean, usually you get a little roof over you, but that's huge. Okay, it's about 60 miles to Page. That one doesn't seem to squeak as bad. Same design though. Yeah, it's just kind of medium rolling hills right now, so far. Wind is kind of coming from that side. Not very strong though, really. It's a pretty good day. Still getting sun from the solar even with the clouds. It's breaking through. Overall, life is good. Sorry about the wind. Yeah, the road kind of goes crosswise, so I don't think I'm going to get any closer to that one. It was pretty impressive. Patches of blue are breaking out. I'm still getting about an amp of charge, so that's not too bad considering. Okay, I thought the road was going to turn away. Apparently it turned back, so we got an even better view now. That is pretty cool. And off in the distance, more rugged, amazing landscape. I wonder how long you'd have to live here before you just got used to this as being normal. 'Cause it's pretty cool. Same spot. I just happened to look across. And yeah, with the wind, I did take my jacket off, but I'm still wearing sweats. So it's not cold, but I don't think I'm ready for shorts today. Yeah, that's just something, huh? one is pretty big. Okay, so it's 3 o'clock, and ironically, look at all that blue sky, right? The sun is peeking out finally. Everything is looking wonderful, except the road. Except the wind keeps trying to blow me off the road. Forecast said high winds until sunset or something like that. So I'm just kind of looking around, seeing what's in the area to look out for. Random parts of something, I guess. And I'm like, oh, what's this over here? Jawbones. I think a goat, right? Worse. Oh yeah, there's antlers over there for the goat, or horns or whatever. There's another skull up a little further. Yeah, just, you know. So this gets me down out of some of the wind, and I've got a good line of sight for the sun, so the bike is charging. I'm getting 2.5 amps of charge again at 3 o'clock, so that's actually pretty good. So we'll have good batteries for tomorrow. So if the sun sets more or less in that direction, it'll rise from this direction. So I should have much earlier sun in the morning. And the wind is supposed to die down around midnight, so I should get a decent night's sleep. So if I need to tuck in, I could put the bed down there, get it down a little lower. I might just put it up next to the bike. It's kind of level. You know, it's level this way. So I can kind of just push the legs down into the dirt until it sits level. So yeah, it's not quite as fancy as last night, but anyway, it does look like I've got cell phone signal here, so that's good. So I was hoping for one of those trees, but I kept looking. Most of the trees are on the other side of the fence. They probably cleared all the trees out when they were building the road, and they just never grew back. So at the moment, I actually just finally took my sweatshirt off, and I might take my sweatpants off, but then it's going to get dark. Well, I got a couple hours, you know. It's actually about 65 or 70 degrees. It's pretty warm today, but with the wind, you're just constantly wind chill. So okay, you guys got to check this out. So I'm stopped on the side of the road. I noticed I had signal, so I checked some stuff really quick. This is a couple hours back, and these two young ladies in an SUV come rolling up next to me, hold it out. Hey, here you go. And I'm like, oh, that's cool. So I'm like, I felt bad after I said it. I'm like, oh, that'll go good with my big solar panel. And they look back and they're like, oh. So I don't know if they're making them or whatever. It is. This one's made in the USA, Sunstream. I don't think it's got a battery in it. It's just the solar panel. But it is showing a charge on the phone. So I just thought that was pretty cool. Yeah, so far on the trip I've had, okay, the solar panel. Mexican family down in El Paso saw me at the Walmart, comes up and just gives me a burrito. That was so good. Several people have given me water, just like stop on the side of the road and hand it to you through the window kind of thing. It's like, wow, thank you. You know, never turned down free water. It's just, you know, nice to see random people helping each other out once in a while. So I thought that was pretty cool. So what I'm thinking I'm going to do with that, my little Anchor battery bank thing. What happened was when I redid the bike between the test ride and this ride, I took off some of the things, and one of the things I took off was another USB port that I really didn't need. So the one that I used to charge the phone also has a second port, so the one for the phone is high power, high speed, rapid charging, whatever. The second port only puts out, I think, 1 amp or something like that. So if I use that battery bank that I have, and if I run it down, it'll take it over a day to recharge it. It's not that it's that big, it's just that that port is only putting out half an amp or an amp. It's not very much. So I'm kicking myself for taking the other one off because it would have had a faster charger on it. But anyway, so maybe I'll just use this now. So like for instance, the other thing I wanted to change, this might be an option for later. When I'm sitting in camp, like right now, I'm right next to the bike, but I can't reach the one on the handlebar. So if I would have put a USB port back on the trailer somewhere, so that would be something I could add pretty easy, actually. That's just kind of a random thing. So I could put a power point somewhere else, maybe then get a longer charger cable too. So I could be sitting, like for instance right now, I'm sitting on the army cot, and the bike is blocking the wind for me a little bit. So that's working out good. I might just sleep here tonight instead of I was going to go down a little further. But this way I'm like, okay, this will probably be all right. So yeah, just random things. Oh, I just realized this is still on. Yeah, I guess it wasn't that warm after all if I never even took my toque off. I think a lot of it, I'm just burning so many calories riding that I don't have much left for keeping warm. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and upload this video. So as always, thanks for all the support. Thanks for watching. And let's remember why we're doing this, for the veterans. So if you know anybody that, you know, maybe would like to go for a bike ride or needs help with a bike or just needs help in general, hook them up, see what you can do. Sometimes all you need is just an hour on the bike to get out and blow the cobwebs out of your head. So I think that's one of the problems in this country. I was thinking about this when I was talking to, I think his name was Philippe, guy from Denmark, I think. I didn't ask him about the time, but it's so common in Europe for everybody to have a bike and to go out and actually ride it. I wonder how long it would take in this country if you just looked at your group of friends, unless you're already part of a bike club. If you put out the word on Facebook, hey, let's get 10 people together and go for a bike ride, I wonder how many of us could do that. I know in my county, I'm pretty sure I'm the only guy that rides a bike. So, at least I've never seen anybody else on one. We need to work on that. Start getting out more. Get some fresh air and whatnot. Alright, that's it. Just in case you can hear me. Bye for now.